Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Going to show you my game room today. Welcome to another video. As you can see, the hallway is just a normal looking family hallway, but as you walk up to this door, that's where you can enter my man cave. One reason we bought this house is because it's got a great big game room up here. Let's kick back, relax. So this is going to be a little bit of a long one. I want to show you guys as much of the game room as I can, including this life-size Captain Kirk poster. Now there's the entrance to the game room and the exit there. Got a little dartboard, electronic darts. There's a flash cutout that I got for just 20 bucks a long time ago. It was a advertisement hanging up in a 7-Eleven. And I got some arcade marquees and some of my favorite album covers there. Now of course I can't have just a normal lamp or a normal refrigerator. Big fan of old movies, horror, science fiction, superhero, and all that good stuff. Pretty cool. I got this GameCube lighted sign at a garage sale for $15 not long after GameStop got rid of them. Great stuff. Love me some garage sales. The ET Mobile was just $5 at a gaming convention. Check out those vintage Marvel posters and some DC stuff here. Let's get to some games. So my Xbox and PS2 collection is across the top here. So miscellaneous PS4 game mixed in. My wife enjoys Friends trivia. Have a lot of retro titles on here, you know, just arcade classics collections. And you can tell they're really not in order, but hey, I know where everything is. Yes, the PS1 did have a trackball. There's some random controllers here. Xbox collection. I do like the Buffy games. Surprisingly good. Somebody needs to come over and put all this stuff in alphabetical order for me. The Onimusha trilogy, somebody gave me that at a convention and I've never played them. Mint condition complete, but I've heard they're good games. I need to try them out. Maximo, my favorite PS2 game and one of my favorite games of all time. PS1 long box games and my other PS1 games, Spider-Man. First really great Spider-Man game that actually made you feel like the character. Great web slinging physics. Some cool Marvel superhero fighting games. Great stuff. These are hard to find nowadays. Again, a lot of retro stuff. Love me some side-scrolling shooters. Einhander, one of the greats. Crash. Yes, the Spice Girls and Kiss game. Not a great game, but you know, it's the Spice Girls. And this Kiss pinball game, it's not authorized, so there's no Kiss music, but you know, gotta have it from a Kiss collection. Again, retro remakes and reimaginings of old games like Robotron X, based on the old Robotron arcade game. Love Castlevania. Most of the Castlevania games anyway, including those two. Lots of classics collections in my collection. Now, I'm going to pull back a little bit. I'll spend a lot of time in this area here. I've got several setups around the game room, as you'll see, but this particular one, it's got a lot of great consoles on it, which I'll show you in just a moment. Behind this big, heavy, giant CRT TV are some NES games, some of them with the manual, including Battletoads, very frustrating game. Donkey Kong 3, one of my favorites. Great game. It's a shooter instead of a climbing game like the earlier ones, or a platformer. Interesting game that divides a lot of people. A lot of people just don't like it because it's so much different. DuckTales, great game. Arkanoid boxed with the Valve controller, very hard to find, very collectible, great game. Sega 3D glasses for the Master System, another rarity. Again, just more of my NES cartridges. And Super NES down here, including Super Bonk. And yeah, here's Super Bonk. sequel to the TurboGrafx series. There's also a bonk game on the NES, Turtles in Time, one of the greatest Super Nintendo games. Excellent beat 'em up. Now you notice I'll have empty slots here and there on my collection. That's because I'm still adding to it, you know, when the price is right. Now I've got my just ordinary Nintendo 64 here and my Halo Edition Xbox. I love that translucent green, that is awesome. NES Advantage, great for Pac-Man. My PlayStation 2 Fatty, that's still my original PlayStation 2, which I got back in the day. Still works great. My Super Nintendo did fry, so I have to use the one that the second iteration of the console that was smaller and cheaper. Now I call this my triple decker, the Genesis on top of the Sega CD with the 32X. Great setup. I got this at a garage sale actually. I already had the Sega Genesis. This was sometime in the probably early 2000s. I already had a Genesis, but I got the Sega CD and 32X together with it at a garage sale for very cheap. Now under here, I've got storage and just some random odds and ends. There's an Odyssey 200 under here, old Pong type system. And I've got storage for controllers and peripherals and odds and ends under here. Just stuff to the brim. Good storage space here. This old desk was in my brother's room at our old house, and really works great for storage and holding this super heavy CRT television where a ghost is playing Halo, or perhaps it's in track mode. Attract mode, I should say. Now up here, got this cool Kiss blanket that I got for Christmas, I believe, one year. Love that. Destroyer, one of the best Kiss albums. Got some flashbacks and whatnot. And here we go. The Master System, really great Sega console that came out before the Genesis. A Pac-Man Quarter Arcade. The Dreamcast. All these are set up and ready to play. NES with the dust cover there. Sega Saturn with the memory card plugged in. Jaguar with a few games. And I've got tubs of cartridges in various places around my game room. I keep my PlayStation 1 set up, even though the PlayStation 2 plays PS1 games. That's because some games don't work with the PS2. Some PS1 games are incompatible. Like, there's an arcade collection. Arcade Party Pack doesn't work with the PS2. So, and my Nintendo 64 games, I've got this cool drawer. I love this, but I need another one because, see, these guys just out by themselves. They need a home. I need to find another one. TurboGrafx, awesome system. My 3DO. And again, all these are just set up, ready to play anytime. Various points around the room. I've got tubs of cartridges like here. A few Super Nintendos and a bunch of Genesis ones below. A little bit of Master System stuff. And my system selector here, pretty old school. Cleaning supplies, because these old cartridges are always having to be cleaned. I've got Mega Man X collection for the GameCube set up to play right now. Some mini arcades. And extra Saturn controller, extra Jaguar. And then my GameCube games. We play the GameCube pretty often because when my daughter comes home from college and my son's here, we will play some multiplayer GameCube stuff. Love the GameCube. Some extra stuff down here. And my Game Gear. My wife and I played the Game Gear a lot when we would travel back before we had kids. This is the case we would carry it in. You could carry a number of games in it. Really cool. And it would plug into the cigarette lighter in the car to keep it charged. There's my GameCube with the Game Boy player below that lets you play Game Boy Advance games on it. And I do have the controllers out because you never know when your kids are going to come over. Actually, we do know. Katie lives in Lubbock, 5 hours away, so she lets us know. And here's tubs of cartridges, Atari and ColecoVision and all that kind of stuff. Take a peek in this top one here. There you go. Lots of Atari cartridges. And so that's another section of my game room there. Let's go over here to yet another section. We'll go start at the top. Some empty boxes for different consoles, just for display. My Atari 7800 corner. And television. Again, not alphabetized, because, you know, that'd be kind of a hassle. I love the television. Grew up playing that and Atari, all that good stuff at friends and cousins' houses, family members and whatnot. A few computer games boxed. My meager Vectrex boxed collections. I've got cartridges somewhere in a tub. And my ColecoVision homebrews, some of them. And more ColecoVision box stuff here, including some of the original titles. And then we go over here, Ladybug. My favorite ColecoVision game, excellent maze title. And the ColecoVision really excelled in maze games. Pepper 2 is another fantastic maze game, love it. And these big boxed 5200 games are really cool. They came with a controller holder so you could have double joystick action, very cool. Gremlins, one of the better movie-based games, and it's got a great cover. Love that art. I love these boxed games because I love the art. Big fan. Physical media and just the old school box art. Great corner here with King Kong, Flash Gordon, and Superman in terms of box art. Check it out. So cool. Now, some random box stuff here. You can play the VCS, your 2600 on your 5200. You can play games on it if you'd like. Astrocade and Arcadia 2001 stuff there. ColecoVision games, some pretty rare ones there. Some homebrew stuff. 5200 games, Odyssey 2. And here's my boxed Odyssey 2 games. I love the KC games. Those are so much fun. I love maze titles in general, including Turtles. Pretty hard to find game on Odyssey 2. Great maze action. Not as famous as something like Pac-Man, but man, just as fun or better. Killer Bees is an oddball game, but great. And just a little bit of boxed Jaguar stuff there. And I'm going to pull out here and show you guys this, pan out a little bit here, maybe I should say. The corner here, I love this corner as well. My super retro section. I recently started working for Opcode Games, so they've sent me some stuff there. My Commodore 64, my Vectrex, this old CRT TV with Venture set up. So you got my 2600, my ColecoVision. This is like my fourth ColecoVision because I burned through them. And there's the Super Game Module from Opcode Games. Very cool. 5200. And of course I have you know, the original 5200 controllers plus like the Wiko ones. And this one's really rare. Competition Pro. It works great for you guys that don't like the original controllers or when those wear out. Those are hard to find though. ColecoVision cartridges here. And the 5200 trackball is excellent. Go over here to my Dreamcast games. Spent a lot of time with Soul Calibur and Soul Fighter. This is not one you hear about a lot. Pretty decent third-person hack and slash action game. It's a lot of fun. Really cool. And these are basically CD holders I have these games in. Here's my... Now it looks like I have 2 copies of Bonk's Adventure, but actually one of them is Bonk's Revenge. Sequel to Bonk's Adventure. Legendary Axe 2. That's in a book that I'm working on right now that I can't quite talk about yet. I will fill you guys in when I can. Dragon Spirit and Fantasy Zone, great shooters. Galaga 90. Probably my favorite TurboGrafx game. Activision titles for the 2600. Many of you know those are some of the better games on the system. More ColecoVision stuff down here. And then I've got this TV in this corner here. Got Food Fight set up on the 7800, one of the best games for the console. Some 2600 games, some of my homebrew stuff for Intellivision and the 7800. Maybe Pac-Man is a great homebrew game. Difficult, upside down. Difficult, just like the arcade version, but wow. It's pinball and maze game. Great hybrid. Some interesting third-party 2600 stuff there. More Atari stuff behind the TV here. And I absolutely love this TV. I got it at a garage sale. It is a Zenith Space Command TV, and it just works great. And I love the controls, control panel, how that comes out. Very cool. And over here, could you pull back a little? Odyssey 2 with the voice. Great. I love the Odyssey 2. 7800. The Odyssey 2 I used to play with my cousin Marty. She got one before, way before I did. She got one back in the day, and we played it on her old black and white TV. In television, I would play at my girlfriend's house when I was 14 and she was 16, and she had a card and a television. Couldn't get much better than that. Arcadia 2001, I got mine at Thrift Town. They had 2 hanging up in bags with cartridges just hanging on the wall. You know how a lot of thrift stores will put stuff in bags and, you know, just sometimes it's like a bag of toys or random stuff. Well, they had 2 bagged Arcadia 2001s. I sold one on eBay in the late 90s or early 2000s and kept this one. And here's my Bally Astrocade. This was a garage sale find back in the day. And of course, the Mighty Intellivision. And under this table here, I've got cases of games. You can see Game Boy stuff in there, Game Gear. I've got manuals in these envelopes down here. And I've got tubs of 5200 games and other, you know, these systems you just saw, these older systems. Got lots of tubs of games under here. Over here, just drawers of extra controllers. Things like that, accessories. Pretty cool. Let's get out, let's see what we got here. Here we go. Let's get these out. These are just random, like catalogs, paperwork that comes with consoles and certain games, Atari catalog, Sega. And here's a tub full of computer games for the Commodore 64. Pretty cool, a lot of great arcade ports on the Commodore 64. It's 2 different, that might be for the Atari. Let's see, there's Gorf. Great game on the Commodore 64, the C64 as some call it. All right here, so yeah, we've gotten a good look at that area. Gotta mention the Vectrex. Back in the day, I traded my VCR to a pawn shop for a Vectrex. Got a little system selector here to pick between the VCS, the ColecoVision, and the 5200. Pretty cool. This one I just have to plug it into the back of the TV to select between these systems, but they are all up and ready to play, and I do play them fairly frequently. Now let's go over here to this next section. Now if you watch my YouTube channel, you know this is where I sit in front of these walls of games to do most of my videos. So we'll start at the top here. My daughter Katie got me this awesome Superman. Hopefully he'll never fall on me when I'm doing a video, or that might be kind of funny, that might go viral. A couple of Microvision games. Microvision came out in 1979. It was the first handheld console, a decade before the Game Boy. It was the first handheld that actually accepted cartridges. And they're face plates. It's kind of a strange system. It's my boxed ColecoVision stuff across the top. I still need a boxed adapter that lets you play Atari 2600 on the ColecoVision, but I've got all this other box stuff here, which is pretty awesome. Original Pac-Man lunchbox, got the Dreamcast back there. I swear I bought this TurboGrafx boxed complete at a garage sale for $1. It was sitting on the driveway back in the late 90s. I already had a TurboGrafx, but I got this one for $1, and it's been on my shelf, you know, either at the old house or this house ever since. And it's a neat Batman game, computer game my brother-in-law gave me not too long ago. Super Mario World doesn't come with a box when you get it with the Super Nintendo. I intended to put a picture on there, haven't gotten to that yet. The Super Game Boy that lets you play Super Nintendo game or Game Boy games on your Super Nintendo. I won this tabletop Pac-Man in an Atari 2600 tournament. It's pretty awesome. At the Oklahoma Video Game Expo. My favorite game of all time, Mr. Do, great maze title. It's kind of like Dig Dug, but with some differences. A lot of great strategies in this game. Love the Donkey Kong Country trilogy. So many great games. A lot of people call the Super Nintendo their favorite game console of all time, and it's my top 5 easily. Maybe top 3, perhaps. PS2, ColecoVision, Super Nintendo, NES, Atari 2600. Man, it's tough to say. Genesis. So many great consoles. Hard to nail down which one is in order as far as favorites go. Contra. Man, so many great memories playing Contra. I beat it back in the day without using the Konami code to get 30 lives because I didn't know about it back then. This is an interesting game. Galactic Crusader. It's almost like an Atari 2600 game, or ColecoVision at least, in terms of graphics. Very primitive. Yeah, it's more like a ColecoVision game. And for the NES, it would look kind of primitive, but it's fun. My little N64 box collection here. Love me some Wave Race. One of my favorite games for the collection. Very cool. My wife's Pac-Man Rubik's Cube that she got back in the day, she let me have. Pretty cool. The Lynx, the handheld that was so much more powerful than the Game Boy, but it just failed in the marketplace. Not enough third-party support. It sucked down batteries like crazy. My boxed 32X collection. There's my boxed 3DO games. There you go. Pretty cool. Phoenix 3 is a fun game. Yeah, it's like a platform shooter. Pretty cool. Yeah, has nothing to do with the old Phoenix arcade game. And I don't know if there was a 1 or 2 Phoenix. I don't know why it's titled that. NBA Jam Tournament Edition for the 32X is awesome. So is Star Wars the arcade game, virtual racing. Pretty cool. I remember when Toys R Us was blowing out 32Xs for $10 a piece. It originally, I don't remember how much 32Xs were originally, but man, they just kept marking them down and marking them down, and they finally got to $10 and had stacks and stacks of them. Nights into Dreams. Big box, because it comes with a big controller. The 3D control pad, they called it. Got a pretty decent collection of Saturn games, because the movie trading company used to sell these really cheaply. They would put them all out for like $3.99. And I got a lot of these, regardless of the title, for $3.99. Then they started marking them up. And of course, nowadays, look at that. I got this one for $1 at some kind of thrift shop or something. But yeah, pretty cool. And then my Sega CD collection down here. Robo Aleste. This is a killer vertical scrolling shooter. A lot of fun. Wonder Dog, really cartoonish game. Hard to find. And the cardboard box. Most of these are in these plastic cases. Final Fight CD is a great game. And the infamous Night Trap. Of course, you got to have that for your Sega CD. The Terminator has some of the best music for any game, really. It just rocks. And the Sega CD was known for having really good music. Let's go back up to the top here and work our way down. Old 7-Eleven cup for Galaga, which you might hear Galaga in the background right now. I'll show you that in a little bit. Earthworm Jim. Great comedy, great platforming action. Excellent game. Ghouls and Ghosts is phenomenal. So is Gyruss. Now, I got my copy of Gyruss and Gunstar Heroes and some of these great Genesis games for just $3 or $4 back in the day when they were blowing them out at GameStop or Funcoland. Space Invaders 91. This is kind of a hidden gem on the Genesis. You don't think of Space Invaders with the Genesis, but this is a great reimagining, great like updated version of Space Invaders with a really cool music and upgradable weapons and all that kind of stuff. Fun game. Rock and Roll Racing is infamous. Actually, just famous. It's a great game. Some maybe a hidden gem, but a lot of people sure love it, so maybe not. It's got cool like instrumental versions of songs by really cool bands. Awesome. There's my Nomad, where you can play Sega Genesis games on the go. Pretty cool. And yeah, I did have to double up my Genesis games for space there, as well as my Master System games down here. Had to double these up for space. So many of these just have the plain white art, including their lousy, most of their sports games are pretty lousy, but every once in a while, like this one from Activision, get some color. I like that color. Cover a lot. This one, Columns, has a little more colorful than most titles. And look, it's a one that's black. So yeah, but most of them are white. I always thought this was really boring. It's kind of a hard to find game here. Kind of boring. That one looks pretty cool. You know, there's some color there, but just this white grid look, I just always thought that was boring. Rambo 3, fun game. One of the better movie titles for any system. Now down here, got more Master System, my Switch box, and my my very humble collection of Switch games. I do have a number of download games on the console, but these are all the physical games I have so far. Pretty pathetic, I admit. But like I said, I do have download games. And my PSP collection. I've got more PSP games somewhere. Disc only. 3DS box. DS games here. Including this phenomenal port of Gorf by Good Deal Games. Excellent with the voice effects and everything. Interesting retro Atari collection here. I love these classics collections. I've got those for a lot of systems. Handheld game boxes, including the Game Boy Color. I like my purple Game Boy Color. Really nice looking. A Wii collection here. Had to double those up because I've got the big box games back there. I just picked up Mad World pretty recently at Family Video that was going out of business for $2.99. Wild game with really interesting Sin City-like graphics. Great stuff. Some more Wii games back here. And a couple of amiibos that I haven't bothered to take out of the box. An amazing pinball collection that goes great with the, works great with the motion controls on the Wii. Awesome. So there you go. And down here, I have actually got all 3 of these board games for the Odyssey 2 in the shrink wrap. I got these at the Oklahoma Video Game Expo one time. I think they were 60 bucks a piece. Regardless, factory sealed. Worth more than that now. Original Game Boy case, pretty cool. Sega guns. The Justifier, maybe many of you seen Keith Apicary, maybe? It's just the Sega Justifier. He walks around with his Sega gun in stores and stuff. Pretty funny. And this one's like, just, let's see. Yeah, the His and Hers. Blue and pink, which I think is a nice, pretty cool. Now over here, so I'll back up a little bit, just kind of pan out. So it's another section. Off screen in my videos, a lot of times I'll put things that I'm holding or showing you guys on this PlayStation chair. That's my little tripod looking thingy there for my TikTok videos. And there's my tripod for my YouTube videos. There's the look outside our house. A little gloomy today. And my Janis Joplin poster that Katie got me. And the King of Kong. Not exactly a truthful documentary, but a lot of fun. There's my Galaga arcade. Pretty awesome. No credits. Pretty cool. And I got the Simpsons playing over here on my Xbox 360. Have the R2-D2 version of the Xbox. Pretty cool. Great sound effects. And my Wii U. Some little mini arcades here. Blu-ray player. Speakers. And just some boxes. Can't throw away boxes. Some board games. Vintage board games back there you can see. And a Pac-Mania puzzle. So we'll pan out here just to give you an idea what this looks like. And my 360 collection. Got a, you know, not a huge collection, but I like it. I have games that I want, like Raiden Fighters, great. Shooter, love the Raiden games. And like I said, I collect me some classics collections. This has phenomenal updates on like Galaga and Pac-Man. The Championship Edition of Pac-Man and Galaga Legions are awesome. Still play those quite a bit. BioShock is one of the better modern games that I like. I like hack and slash 3D third-person games so much. I even think Conan is pretty decent. I got it for $3. Not a great game, but I enjoyed it. Killer superhero fighting game here. Capcom Digital Collection, which is pretty cool. Great collection of games there, including Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. It's a puzzle game with a Street Fighter IP, pretty cool. My video game movies, including my favorite video game movie, The Last Starfighter. Yes, I do have the VHS as well. More video game movies and documentaries. And let's pan back a little bit here so you can see. So you go from the Galaga in the corner there to my main setup, you know, where I watch movies and play the 360 and Wii U. And then over here to my DVD collection and my posters here above the DVD collection. Some album covers there. My son's a big Jaws fan, and Forbidden Planet's one of my favorite movies. Poseidon Adventure, my son's favorite. Love me some Time Machine and Super Friends. So we're gonna pan down here. I still have a VCR hooked up. And I've got these great old VHS cases, or VHS in the case, including these old serials. Love these. Love me some Flash Gordon and the Flash. My two favorite fictional characters are the Flash and Flash Gordon. I don't know what it is about Flash. Down here I've got these old Marvel VHS. These are super cool. Got the old cartoons. And I actually made some VHS cases too, like this one. Just having some fun there. Check out this old Superman the movie box. Pretty cool. And Thundar the Barbarian, one of my favorite cartoons of all time. And I'll just give you kind of a cursory look at my DVDs. Across the top, there are collections and my Land of the Lost stuff, including they really need to put the 1990, early 90s, I think it was 91. They need to put this out on Blu-ray or DVD or something, but Sid and Marty Krofft don't like this series. I hate the Land of the Lost movie, but I have it for the extras. I think it's got an interview with Sid and Marty Krofft, or one of them. Then the Land of the Lost on DVD. I was so glad when they finally came out with this on DVD, because before that I just had, you know, a few episodes on VHS. That was my favorite show when I was a kid, Land of the Lost. It just made my imagination go crazy. And just some more sets. The obligatory Indiana Jones. You gotta have Alien and Back to the Future, of course. The old George Reeves Superman show. We made this little movie thing here, my wife did. She's a big Twin Peaks fan. Gotta have Planet of the Apes. One of my favorite series of all time. Outer Limits, Lost in Space. Of course, you gotta have Twilight Zone, Universal Monsters. When they came out with these Star Trek seasons on DVD, they were like $100 each, and then they went to $80 each. They were so expensive back in the day. Now you can just stream them. Tribble set with or a VHS with tribbles, little furry toys. And on my recently acquired or to watch list, all the Star Trek movies and Next Generation, the original Star Trek. So we got the Star Wars, and then below that, the Star Wars parodies. See, I showed you these. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is my other section of video game movies here, including perhaps underrated Man vs. Snake. You hear a lot about King of Kong, but Man vs. Snake is just as good. Some say better, and it's definitely more authentic. And again, Empty Spaces, always adding to the collection. And I'll pan out here, just show you some of my horror and science fiction movies. Won't go through all these, just want to kind of pan out and give you a good idea of what this wall looks like. Love me some physical media. Alright guys, so there's the pan out here so you can see the wall of DVDs. And then over here, I've got storage. Now up here, see those papers and magazines and stuff in there? Those are, I have articles in those. See that orange tub? That's full of my articles. Magazines and newspapers that have my articles. Same with that tub, same with that box. Same with that box up there. And yeah, I've been a journalist for many years. And here's some just extra peripherals. There's the power pad, you can see it there for the NES. Extra consoles, some stuff I need to sell, some backup consoles, some boxed odds and ends, and extra Vectrex. And I've got a lot of this covered up with this cool Marvel Superheroes sheet. That way you just don't have to see all the... Let's take a peek back here. Just works in progress, board games, old magazines, research materials. It's like my TI-99 cartridges in here. My Atari 8-bit computer, which is pretty cool. Boxed. More DVDs. Let's go up here first. More game boxes, again, because I can't throw those away. Original Star Wars lunchbox. The Virtual Boy. One of Nintendo's few failures. One of my few imports. My brother-in-law and sister got me this. They went to Japan, Super Famicom. Some old box sets of VHS. I got this Star Wars trilogy for Christmas back in the early 80s, I believe. C64. Behind that is the VIC-20. And Super Simon. Pretty awesome. And I love this Sigmund and the Sea Monster VHS set. I found it at Half Price Books. And then here I've got some music videos and horror, fantasy, more music down here. More VHS. Now over here I don't have the best. I've kind of run out of room in certain spots, so in front of these VHS I've got my boxed Game Boy stuff, including Yar's Revenge. Pretty cool. Gotta love some Zelda. And one of the greatest Game Boy games is Space Invaders. Excellent. Donkey Kong Land 3, factory sealed. Should I open? Donkey Kong, maybe my favorite Game Boy game. First four levels are similar to the original, and then it just goes up from there with puzzles and interesting action, a lot more challenging. Down here, a few Sega Game Gear games, including this one import, Aerial Assault, and it does work on the regular Game Gear. It's not region locked. And that sits in front of my VHS collection, more VHS, the old Universal Monsters. Love these covers. Got a lot of this on DVD, but I just can't bear to get rid of these because cover art is just too great. I love old science fiction, old horror, like I mentioned before, including the infamous Plan 9 from Outer Space. All right, there you go, guys. So I'm gonna pan around and just kind of show you the whole game room real quick, and then we'll sign off. Appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoy the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and in the description, I'll put a link to my Patreon if you want more content, and if you want to help the channel. I love my game room. Spent a lot of time up here. hang out with the kids up here, hang out with the wife up here. With all the pandemic stuff going on, my wife and I have spent a lot of time up here, like on Friday nights and stuff, just hanging out, watching music videos, ordering pizza or whatever. Have friends over here from time to time, at least pre-COVID. So there you go. There's a look at the Brett Weiss game room. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And let me know in the comments, did you see any particular items in here that you want to comment on? And just your general impression with my game room. Thanks for watching, guys. We will talk to you in another video.